time, we would like to thank you for coming and attending this event. This is one more of our ILE events of this week, ILE week. And today we are very honored to have a speaker for you and someone who I'm really glad to present. And you will see why. This is Evana Valle. She's the founder and CEO of Evana Valle International, where she actively supports professionals and entrepreneurs to have even more happiness, peace, and life success. As a life mastery expert, her sole focus is you, empowering you to gain self-trust, confidence, and inner strength so you can live a fulfilling life regardless of your circumstances. She embarks this beautiful journey through live events, workshops, retreats, coaching with her upcoming television show, Metamorphosis TV. Evana is an international speaker, accredited coach and facilitator who specializes in holistic healing and fulfillment. She is certified by the International Coaches Federation, the gold standard in coaching, with a professional certified coach designation, which is held by only 3,000 coaches worldwide, and she's one of them. She is especially skilled in the work of Dr. Brene Brown and is a certified Daring Way facilitator. As an advocate and practitioner of alternative and holistic healing, she was the founding president of the Toronto North chapter of the Holistic Chamber of Commerce. Evana is also an active member of several global organizations, including the Evolutionary Business Council, the Wellness Universe, and the Holistic Chamber of Commerce, meaning that she brings an unparalleled support network into serving her community at the highest level. Evana is a sought-after speaker and guest who has appeared on national and international radio shows and top-ranked podcasts. She's a recognized leader who publishes a weekly blog sharing insights, tools, and tips supporting you in your journey to love and self-worth. So for us, as I'm saying, we have someone who can teach us a little bit about all this that I've read. For you, that was an introduction. And please give a round to Evana Valle.
Dancing with the microphone. So, and this is really what life is about, isn't it? It's just being with what's here right now. So, as Jose shared, I want to tell you a little bit more about myself in the sense that, yes, I have lots of amazing education and accreditation for the work that I do and in all aspects of my life. And I just want to applaud you for the fact that you are also pursuing your education for better opportunities for yourself. And I've also had the opportunity to work with hundreds of people individually in coaching, and thousands, I've spoken in front of thousands of people, to really share a very universal and powerful message that we all need to hear. And it's not a message that we need to hear once, but repeatedly. Because sometimes when someone says it one way, we don't get it, but when it's said a different way, we actually hear it in a different way. All this stuff has really given me the opportunity and the foundation to support people in their success and their fulfillment. And so that's a little bit about me professionally. This is me in different environments. This is actually me in Palmares. The picture on the far right is, I live in Palmares, and I have a women's circle group. And this is one of the events where we were just starting a meditation actually there. So this is just me, and now that you know me a little bit more of my professional side, let's share, I'd like to have the opportunity to share a little bit about me as who I am as a person. So you see me as a speaker, a trainer, a coach, a professional from Canada, right? Is that right? Yeah. And who speaks English, and I'm actually trying to learn Spanish. And for those who were here a little earlier, I actually started speaking in Spanish and then quickly auto-corrected saying, no, this is actually an English-speaking community. Yay for you guys. Let's just say yay. And let's speak English. So that's what we're doing. And that's true. I am all those things. And I'm also more than you can see. Here's the thing. Your biggest thing right now is learning English, because that's your second language. And you look at me and you see me speaking English right now, and you think that I'm learning Spanish. And it's true. And English wasn't my first language. English, just like you, was my second language. So I'm ESL, as they say. My first language was Italian. So I've gone from learning English to Italian. Sorry, wrong way around. Italian to English, and now going from English to Spanish. And there's a lot of learning challenges, whether you've done it at any age. And what I've noticed is the challenges are actually very similar for me. So one of the things when I was learning English, like you, my family didn't speak English. At home, does your family speak English? No, right? We're in the same boat. So here we are, we're learning this language at school. We go home and we're like, oh my God, where do I practice? I have no one to practice with. And quite honestly, I'm having the same experience with Spanish. I love my neighbors and they're all English speakers. So it takes me going out into the community, and that's why I do what I do, even with here. It's like, okay, let's speak Spanish because I'm committed to learn Spanish. And it's not something that a lot of people really can speak English, right? For me. So it's something, so that's one of the learning challenges that I've had, both in learning English as you, and now with Spanish. Another thing is, I got teased. Not teased in a bad way, but I got teased for my English. Because Italian was my first language. And guess what? I'm being teased with my Spanish too. Of course I am. I'm getting verbs wrong. I said to my Zumba teacher, I said, hey, a man, limper, ¿tiene hombre? And he's like, what? You mean tiene hambre? I'm like, oh, yes. So it's a constant, and he laughed at me. First he was borderline offended, and then he laughed at me. He's like, what? So, and that's what we're dealing with, isn't it? Do you guys get teased? Maybe you don't get teased for your English, but do you get teased because you're learning English? Because I hear a lot of that. That it's within the culture, sometimes they look down on us, like, why are you going and learning another language? Is that happening or not? Keep me honest. Más o menos? Más o menos? I'm going to throw the Spanish in, because I'm committed to speaking my Spanish. And so the third thing is, even today, many years later, at home, with my mom, I still speak Italian. She's lived in Canada for 50 plus years. Her English is okay, we'll say. But her preference, her comfort zone is Italian. Right? And so I'm reliving these things again and again and learning Spanish. And quite honestly, to some extent, I'm actually being represenced to it. It's like, wow. And I'm actually having an appreciation for where I was when I was 4 or 5 learning English in school to now being 40 plus, we'll say. Actually, here I say I'm 25 años. Anyone, how old are you? Right? Because that's the thing. You say you're 25, whether you're not, anytime you're older than 25. But that's, right? So I'm catching on some of the slang here, and I'm loving it. But I'm reliving these things. So I want you to know that I'm more like you, and I really have an understanding and appreciation for what you're going through, and I applaud you. I applaud you because you're actually taking the action and doing it and going for it. So, what does cha-cha-cha have to do with learning a language? What does cha-cha-cha have to do with life, right? You're thinking, why would she name her talk cha-cha-cha in life? Well, this is the reality. Cha-cha-cha is a dance, right? We can all agree? Yeah. Right? It's a dance, as you saw me trying to do it coming up the stage. And I didn't do it perfectly, and that's okay. But so is life. Isn't life a dance? Really? So I'm gonna actually pause this, and I'm gonna add a little bit more to this. Regardless of what you're going through in life, you could be starting a new job. You could be getting married. You could have a health concern. You could be ending a personal relationship, and you could be learning a language. The reality is, all these things share the same sequence. So I'm going to come from behind right here. So if we break down the steps, I'm going to scroll through. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put that back up there. Oh well, we'll see soon enough. So really, the cha-cha-cha has 3 basic steps, right? The forward step. In life, that means we're taking progress, right? We're taking action, anything like that, right? We're moving, right? There's progression. The second step is backwards. In life, or learning a language, we take pause. Does anyone hit a plateau with learning English? You're like, okay, how do I get to the next level? I'm having that with Spanish, and I get frustrated. That's the back step. So you pause, or you're afraid, and you're like, you know what? I'm done. How many of you want to, maybe it's not quit English, but want to quit something? Things get a little difficult. You're like, you know what? I'm done. Anyone have that? I have it a lot. Anyone else? Yeah, it's natural. And then the third piece is the side together side. Right? What do you think that is? That's the, I don't know what to do in my life. I don't know, or you're stuck. So really, the cha-cha-cha is symbolic of what happens in our lives. Watch me as I try to put this thing back. Oh, there's a little clip here. That's easy. Thank you. Okay. Awesome. So, today, what I'm going to do is the basis of the talk today is really 3 powerful ways for you going about, Spanish to English and how these ways can actually help you to carry you forward in your life and in learning English. Okay? Because the reality is, like cha-cha-cha, at moments we're going to get stuck, or we're going to go forget it, or we're going to keep going. And so these three things, vision, voice, and vulnerability, are your key tools or keys or ways to help you keep going and moving forward. How's that sound? Does that sound awesome? Okay. Vision. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, everyone has the power for greatness. Not for fame, but greatness. Because greatness is determined by service. So how does that pertain to vision in life? Well, your life vision defines who you want to be, what you want to be known for, and the set of experiences and accomplishments you aim for. Your vision actually helps define your goals, giving you a framework to evaluate those goals. So what does that mean? What that means is when you can actually get connected to who you want to be, and when I say that, I don't mean from a profession standpoint. Your profession probably is part of that, but who do you want to be in the world? What do you want to stand for? And I'll tell you, with all my confidence, English and learning English is a part of your vision. It might be to be a translator, but it might be something even bigger that you don't even know and realize. And I say that because, let's tell you why. Because your vision becomes clearer and clearer over time. So, knowing this, let's explore 3 ways having a vision can help you. So, focus. Your vision, when you have a vision of what you want for yourself, for your life, and really like the last slide said, to be in service to others. Because if we think I just want to be successful, this mic is amazing and it's like, oh. So when we think that we want to be successful, and that makes it be about us. And that wears thin pretty quick. Because we're looking outside of ourselves and what does that actually mean and how do I do that? But when you actually think, how does my vision actually serve others? It's deeper. It's deeper. And right now, in your life, you may have an idea, and I'll tell you, when I was your age, I had no idea. Okay? So it's all right, but just stay connected to the fact that when you can really get clear on who you are and what you want to be and how you want to contribute, which is really service, to the world, it gets deeper. So what that means is it allows you to have focus. And it keeps you from being distracted from the things that are good, but are not going to make a difference to you. And the reality is, without a focused vision, you live your life carelessly and without a sense of purpose. Second, energy. I love that photo of a chocolate lab on a surfboard. Who here loves dogs? Who's a dog lover in the room? Yeah, awesome, awesome. And there's so many dogs in Costa Rica. It's like, wow! I feel like I'm at a playground. I just have to leave my house. It's amazing. Side note, I'm a dog lover too, can you tell? Okay, so energy. How's my energy right now? Do I have energy? Yeah. And part of that energy is because I'm fulfilling my vision right now with you guys. Having the opportunity to share my learning, my wisdom to inspire you, that's part of my vision. And so, I have energy. You receive strength from the picture of where you're going. When you have an idea of what your vision is, your big V, your why, people might say, then it gives you energy, it gives you inspiration. It makes you want to get up in the morning. You go to bed thinking about it. It wakes you up. Maybe right now it's English. Maybe English is actually why you not get out of bed right now, because I don't know, you got exams or something. I don't know. But the reality is, the fact that you guys are in an English program says something about who you are. I can't say that enough. And I get you, because when I was a little kid, I didn't have a choice because I was in Canada and, well, I couldn't go to school and speak Italian. I had to speak English. But being in Costa Rica, learning Spanish is an absolute choice of mine. And I am committed. Aren't I, Jeffrey? Anytime Jeffrey comes over, I always say, Jeffrey, I want to speak Spanish. He's like, okay. Because that's my vision. Part of my vision, I'll share it with you later, is Spanish is incorporated in it. I didn't even know it for so long. I didn't know how it fit in the puzzle, but it fits. Let's keep going. Endurance. When you have a vision, you're actually ready to endure the challenges. You're like, oh, I can't get those Spanish verbs, right? You guys can talk my language because you know the difference in learning English verbs. I run, you run, she runs. In Spanish, no es así, no. Estoy loca, no. Anyhow, but it's true. You actually are able to endure what's going on. And a clear vision will fortify you. It'll push you forward. So, where are you guys with your vision? Any idea? Any idea? Like I said before, when I was in my early 20s, I had no idea. And so I wanted presence. This is not about why don't you know your vision. This is about, wow, you know what? If I actually can start to explore my vision, I may actually be able to get clear on why I keep going to school and studying English. Or why I keep doing this, or why I'm so inspired to do this. Maybe it's dogs in English, or whatever it is. But when you actually have a better vision, and we think vision like this, but a big picture of where you're going, it's miraculous. So, would you like to explore your vision a bit further? Awesome. So there was a handout at the back of the room when you came in. If you did not get it, I'm sorry, and you can go grab one later, because we're not actually going to do the exercise here. But this is my invitation to you. My invitation to you is look at those questions, take some time. It's not a 2-minute exercise, that's why we're not doing it. When I do full day workshops, or at a retreat, we take half a day, okay? So to think I can do anything with you in a few minutes, it's not possible. However, I invite you to look at those questions, answer them, and I give you an invitation to reach out to me. My information is at the bottom there. WhatsApp me, email me, just say, I was at the ILE week talk, and share with me what you're getting. And it's okay if you don't exactly know, but these questions are really designed just to help you begin to, percolate. I'm thinking about coffee. We're in Costa Rica, right? Just let the percolation start. Okay? That's my invitation to you. Man, I'm behind on slides. This is the cha-cha-cha. I'm pausing and bringing slides up. So this is what the handout looks like. And where there is no vision, the people will perish. We don't want that. And when I say perish, I don't mean physically die, I mean our soul. Our soul. So let's look at how a vision can support you in flourishing. So in having a personal vision, these are some of the things that you'll get for yourself. You'll have a guide. Can you hear me if I don't? Or do I need to take the mic?
Take the mic.
Take the mic?
Yeah.
Thank you. So when you have a personal vision, this is what will likely happen. Well, it will happen, is you'll have a guide for decisions. You'll start going, how does this decision actually help me move forward in the vision that I have in my life, in my career, with my family, etc., etc. It will also become meaning-driven and inner-directed. You'll actually start understanding the significance and the meaning behind why you're doing what you're doing. It's also going to help you think in the long term. Like, how does me quitting this English program going to help me in the long term if my goal is to travel and live in the USA and build a business and work for Apple? Well, guess what? When you actually have a vision of what your big picture is, you considering quitting a program or whatever goes, it just doesn't fit. This is a big one for me with Spanish, because I'll tell you, I get really frustrated with those verbs. Pasado, presento, futuro, presento perfecto, oh my God, okay? But this part, this really helps me stay on track and keep going to Spanish class. And fourth, and not least, is it actually helps maintain balance in your life. Because, for example, if your bigger vision is to really, embody a full life of fulfillment with family and, profession or whatever, you're going to put family as a priority. But if your vision is strictly work and I'm going to be a millionaire by 30, guess what? How is that going to live a balanced life if you've got a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a spouse, and 2 kids? It's a little difficult. So, when you have a sense of your own identity and a vision of where you want to go in your life, you then have the basis for reaching out to the world and going after your dreams for a better life. Well, part of having a vision and reaching out to the world and going after your dreams for a better life is the second point, voice. So let's move to voice. So once you're connected to your vision, your voice becomes the instrument that brings your vision forward. And when we think of voice, there's actually 3 pieces to this. One is spoken voice. So this is obviously physical, high, 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 high. But there's parts to it. One is the speed, the tone, the volume. How's my speed, my tone, and my volume? Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Woo! Okay, that was loud. That was loud volume. There's also the part of listening and being present in the moment. Anyone here know, maybe it's a sister, a brother, a mother, a grandmother, who just doesn't stop talking? Maybe it's you. Yeah. Okay. Well, guess what? And oftentimes in that situation, you probably go, you tune them out, so you're not listening, you're like, okay, and you're actually not with them. The spoken voice as speakers, and I don't mean speakers on stage, but when we speak, really has to be, like there's a listening and there's being with, like I'm with you right now. You're not speaking, but I'm with you. I'm present, but I'm listening to you for the third part, your body language. So even if you're not saying what you're saying, you can still get from words and other stuff. So the third part to the spoken voice is the intention behind the voice. And what I mean about that is really your word choice. I love this quote. I don't know who said it though. When you own your voice, you own your power. Those people that we know that don't stop talking, that's not power. What I'm talking about is when you're actually present and you're very articulate, you know the words that you're trying to say, and you're saying them with intention, that's power. And I don't know about you, but me learning Spanish is really helping me with that. I'm listening so closely to people to get in touch with, are they speaking pasado, presente, or futuro? When it clicked one day, I was out for coffee with a friend and I was like, she just jumped from present to past to future. I'm like, oh my God, my level of listening jumped. And that's part of voice. Second piece, I'm going to just, whoa, this is cha-cha-cha. This slide, do you see the scramble? Holy crow. This is moving sideways, forwards. Oh wow, we won't even, I apologize, because I don't exactly know what happened there. That's cha-cha-cha at its best. So, I'm going to highlight some of these things so we can keep going. But the second part of voice is our inner voice. Anyone know? Right? What are we thinking? And who are we listening to? Are we listening to the voice that says, quit, stop? What are you going to do with that anyways? It's not worth the time and energy. Go get a regular job. Whatever that dialogue is, right? That's the inner critic or the false guidance. And what I'm talking about is the fear-based suggestions. Rather than the true guidance, our inner dialogue that really provides empowering advice. You got this. Keep going. It's worth it. You're doing better than you think. From the two, you obviously can tell that the true guidance is supportive and motivational. And it's really in the present moment. Again, in a full day workshop or, this goes a lot deeper, so I'm just touching on stuff. And the last part with inner dialogue is the true guidance really does tell you, as I said before, you can do it, you got this. Meanwhile, your inner critic breaks down your confidence. It tries to convince you of everything that you don't, that is not in its way to keep you safe. So it has the conversation, so it has that as an effect. We're going to keep going because I'm noticing the clock and I want to. Third, like I was saying, body language and presence. How cool when I was searching for empowering stance, he came up. Does anyone know who this is? Yeah. How cool. I was like, this is so awesome. I got some Costa Rica trivia in the process of building this deck. Big difference in the body postures. Right? Here, cowering, ooh, don't know what to do. Versus here, even I was like, of course, the cha-cha-cha. Do you notice? One of the biggest power stances. What happens when you do something and you're proud of yourself? What do? Yeah, right? Hands up. I can't tell you how many times I've been doing that when I get verbs right. I'm like, oh my God. Sí, yo tengo una idea. I'm like, tengo. Sí, no tenga, tengo. Because it's me and it's present. And I'm like, I can't tell you how many times, not even knowingly. I invite you guys to pay attention to yourselves when you do little wins. You go, how often you do that? Does anyone, can you recall that for yourselves? Anyone doing that? Yes! Okay? There's so many visuals of that. And the other one is Superman. This is another power stance. Right? Why? The chest is open. The shoulders are back. There's a confidence to that. There's a confidence to that. And Amy Cuddy, she's an American researcher out of Texas. She's got a book called Presence, phenomenal book. And she's actually studied it and found that 2 minutes of a power posture, any of those, okay, actually shifts your biology. Shifts it. It shifts your biology, and it actually it boosts your confidence and your power. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I went backstage before I went and sat in that second row and did my 2 minutes. I did my 2 minutes. I do it every day. I do it every day. Because when you're talking in front of a group, or you're going on a date. Anyone here ever been on a first date? Put your hand up if you've been on a first date. Yeah, we all have. Come on, seriously, come on. You're killing me. I'm trying to have fun here and bring in reality, and you're like, wow, okay, awesome. Thanks for that big smile. So the reality is, sometimes we question ourselves. And a simple posture, physical posture, can shift that. 2 minutes. Even before you go in and do a test. You've studied your beep off. And, you're like, how am I going to do? How am I going to do? Right? It's unbelievable. I love this quote from Maya Angelou. Stand up straight and realize who you are. That you tower over circumstances. Some might say, it's easier said than done, Evana. But it's true. When we're standing tall, we actually realize who we are and that our circumstances don't define us. But there's a secret to that happening. Well, it's not a secret, but vulnerability. That's the gateway to living a fulfilled life. You gotta have the vision, you gotta have the voice, and bringing it to voice, bringing it to life, and it requires vulnerability. What is vulnerability? Or rather, what isn't it? Many people, and this is again research-based, okay? Many people believe vulnerability, I don't know why sometimes I'm really loud. Many people think vulnerability is weakness. Truth is, it's actually courage. This is an interesting paradox. Follow me. When you're thinking about someone and you go, wow, you might be thinking about, you may not be, you might go, wow, she's really courageous to be up there and talking in front of people who she doesn't really know, and she's sharing, stuff about herself and all this stuff. This is the paradox. You see vulnerability to be courageous in others, but for you to do something vulnerable for yourself, you actually think it's weakness. It's not true. Vulnerability is actually courage. Number 2, I can opt out of vulnerability. That's a myth. To be alive is to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. You can't avoid these because it's how we're built. Third myth. Vulnerability is oversharing. This is the thing. We actually share as a means to connect with people. I'm sharing myself to the extent that I feel I have, the level of connection I have with you, I'm sharing. And this is the thing. We are hardwired, our brain, we are hardwired to connect. So the key is to share, to connect, but to the level that you feel comfortable based on trust and how well you know the person is how much you share. But if I go on Facebook and I share every last detail of my life, what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, how I'm doing it, to the public, that's oversharing. And that is not vulnerability. That is oversharing. Big myth. This myth, anyone see that? Myth that I can do it alone. I can go it alone. We romanticize the idea that we can do even vulnerability alone. Defeats the purpose of why we're here. We're here to connect. So, building off this last point, and that vulnerability is about connecting, who wants to play? Who wants to come up and actually put some of this to practice? Thank you. Thank you so much. Come on up. That's awesome. 1 or 2 other people. Do I have a volunteer? Thank you, Jeffrey. Come on up. Awesome. Anyone else? I don't want to leave anyone out if they want to. You're volunteering someone, so I think that means you want to come up. Come on up. You in the yellow hat. Woo! Okay. So I apologize because I don't know if you all know one another. So just say your name and then I'm going to give you something separately. Okay? So introduce yourself and say where you are in the program and they'll understand it. So just say your name and where you are in the program.
Okay. Hi, my name is Jeffrey. I'm Sede. I'm course in the ILE career here at the UTN.
Awesome. Okay. So Jeffrey, I want you to read this, not to yourself, not to them, not to these guys. Okay? Okay, got it? Go for it. Yeah, out loud. Just don't think of it. I want you to actually, yeah, go for it. Thank you. You can go back and sit down if you like. Yeah. Okay, awesome. The same. Introduce yourself and thank you for volunteering and where you are in the program.
Well, my name is Selena, I don't know how you want to call me. And well, I'm studying the bachelor right now. So.
Amazing. Thank you. So, you're not done. So I want you to stop volunteering people, because then you have to come up. Thank you for obliging and coming up. So introduce yourself and where you are in the program.
My name is Andres and I'm the diploma right now.
Awesome. Awesome. So I want you to... Take some time, it's okay.
I don't know, like, bleh.
Okay, thank you. So let's give these guys a round of applause for being courageous and thank you. Thank you so much. So let's take a couple minutes and talk about what we saw from these three amazing folks. So we were thinking about voice. So when we talked about voice, we talked about voice, physical voice, we talked about inner voice, inner voice, inner guidance, inner critic, and we also talked about body language as a form of voice. And then when we think about vulnerability, we were talking about courage and that type of stuff. So Jeffrey, actually I'm going to have you guys come back up here. Jeffrey, Alina, and Andres, please. But you can just sit here. Stand here, you can right up. So Jeffrey, what was that experience for you from a voice and vulnerability standpoint? And I'll have you turn around and tell them.
Well, my experience was I felt like embarrassed because it's not common that something, that something does like a song like that in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. So really it was, you used the voice, but it was also uncomfortable, so it required courage. You're like, you know what? And the big thing is, you did it anyways. All three of these guys could have chosen to not do it. They could have said, no way, And that would have been okay, because that would have been learning in a different way. Yeah. How about you? You went second, Alina. So with regard to your voice and vulnerability, what did you get for yourself from that?
Well, I actually was common with my classmate that being like here, stand in front of people is not something that I usually do. And the thing about doing a song, it was like, oh my God, but it's something that you have to do. At the end of the time, you have to do it.
Yeah, so I think I'm speaking loud enough. Can you hear me at the back? So even in spite of, like for you, what I heard was not only is it making a weird sound, and the question was do something that embarrasses you using your voice. So they could have sang, right? They could have done so many things, and they chose sounds, which is great. But for Alina, what happened for her was, it was more than just even speaking a sound, it was doing it in front of people. And that's number 3 in the biggest fears. Public speaking in a forum is the third biggest fear that we have as humans. Yeah, but you also did it because you knew you used the words you had to do it. But that to me tells me your commitment to stretch yourself and to grow. Yeah. It had nothing to do with the sound, did it? It had nothing to do with the sound. It had everything to do with stepping into herself and allowing herself to be seen, even with a funny twerk, twerk, twerk. Awesome. Thank you. Go ahead.
I don't know, I hate public speaking because it is something really awkward for me, I don't know why. But yeah, it is something good and strange at the same time to do an embarrassed or a difficult sound.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
And what I also want to share about all three is they were clear. They weren't, even your body postures, right? They had the microphone. For people who aren't used to a microphone, you were confident, you stood tall. Thank you so much. Okay. Yay! Okay. All right. So, how does vision, voice, and vulnerability look in life? May I share a story with you? So I was at an event in Costa Rica, and at this event, I saw someone from a distance, and I went, wow. My first thing was, I want to go talk to them. My second thought, you can't speak Spanish. What would you even begin to say? Why would they even care? You're another tourist who's living in Costa Rica, etc., etc., etc. Then I went to, oh wow, what an opportunity, and I'm not going to pass this up. Because I want this person to know what this country has done to me. How this beautiful, amazing country has opened their arms, their hearts, their generosity to me. So here I go. I go up and say, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Yo espero que usted entiéndame porque es muy importante que yo hablo con usted. Mi experiencia aquí en Costa Rica es muy lindo. Porque la gente de Costa Rica es amigable, tiene un grande corazón. Y para mí, yo quiero usted sabe eso. Porque usted es una persona muy importante aquí. Y yo viajé mucho lugar. Y mi experiencia aquí es muy especial. I really hope you understood what I just said to you. I said this to this person. And this is what else I said. I said, you know what? It's really important you know this because your country's done amazing things for me. And my vision is to bring people from outside of Canada, outside of Costa Rica rather, here and have them have that experience. And it's more than the people, it's just the geography, it's an amazing, amazing country. And not only is it about me bringing people, is I actually want to give back to the people here who've helped me. Because I am a different person in the 10 months that I've been here. My own growth is unbelievable, and I think it's very important that you know that. So, this was the conversation. I had it with your First Lady, Claudia Dobles, in May, 5 months ago. So you can imagine where my Spanish was then. But it was so important for me, I didn't care if I was going to mess up my verbs. It wasn't actually about me. It was about her knowing what this amazing country and the amazing people in this country have changed my life, have changed who I am. And I was not going to let my inner critic stop me. I did go to English, because then I thought, do you speak English? So, to the depth of what I wanted to say in English, of what I wanted to say, it had to be in English. So she really got the message. Her response was, "That's amazing, thank you, and I love women's empowerment too." So this is what cha-cha-cha looks like. Vision, voice, and vulnerability. Cha-cha-cha, the forward, back, sideways, is in everything. Coming here tonight and not being able to use my computer and cha-cha-chaing with Jose last minute. Me having to be back there because we didn't have a clicker for me to be out here. That's cha-cha-cha. It is everywhere. It's a dance that is in every aspect of what we do and who we are. I'm going to go through this really quickly because I'm noticing the time. So I'm going to just quickly go through this. And I'm going to invite you guys. If you think that through my story I did this, say yay. If you think through my story I did it, say nay. I totally give you permission, okay? My conversation with her. Did it focus on service to others and not myself? Yeah, thank you. Second, my vision propelled me in going and taking the action with her. Can't hear you. Okay. My action was with an integration of abilities, interests, personality, values, goals, and skills and experience. Awesome, thank you. Voice. I was intentional with my word choice. Do you notice I didn't say verb tenses? Just my word choice. Do you think I was intentional? Yeah. I honored and listened and trusted my inner guidance. My body language and presence displayed confidence and self-belief. Did you see the photos? Yeah. Vulnerability. Strength and courage were displayed. Do you think I displayed strength and courage? In speaking Spanish to your first lady, do you think that was strong and courageous? Some might say that was crazy too, but I call that strength and courageous. I took action despite the fear and the risk of criticism. She could have laughed at me. She could have laughed at my Spanish. She could have laughed at me. Here's another gringo saying that she wants to bring people to the country. She could have, but I did it anyways. And this is a big one. Did I seek excellence or did I go for perfection? Because my Spanish was not perfect. Yeah, awesome. So this is how it actually looks like in life. And let's bring this back to language. I'm going to go back. If I get this button right. How does this pertain to you in learning English? Strength and courage to come to class and keep practicing? Presentations, I'm sure, are part of your curriculum. Really having to pay attention to the words. I eat, I ate. Whether you're clear on your vision or not, English is part of your vision and it's propelling you to continue. Awesome. I just want to thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I want to remind you that using your vision, your voice, and your vulnerability, you're ready to dance. You're ready to dance the cha-cha-cha in English and in your life. And these are the 3 key powerful tools to help you achieve everything that you possibly want in your life. And that is my wish for you all. So if you're at all interested in staying in touch with me, I would love that. I love having friends and just practicing Spanish, and you can practice your English. And also if you want to go deeper, if one of those things like, I don't really quite get that, reach out to me. This is my contact information. I see some people with their phones. By all means, take a photo. My WhatsApp, my Facebook, my Twitter, my email is all there. And it's also on your handout. So on that note, that brings my presentation to an end. And I want to invite anyone who's daring, courageous, vulnerable, or
the university is very grateful that you have shared the cha-cha-cha, your cha-cha-cha with us. I'm pretty sure that this motivational speech has reached in very deep in your souls and has somehow enriched your lives. And now we're more positive about. Now it says here that la carrera de inglés como lengua extranjera agradece a Evana Valle, founder and CEO of Evana International, por la charla de Cha-Cha-Cha of Life, dado en la UTN